Hey guys, this is Bo. We're back in the house again. We've got another head coach from Tarleton, Coach McElroy. How are you doing, sir?
Doing fine. Everything's going well. Everything's good. Getting ready for another big conference game here. We got Southwest Oklahoma coming in here Saturday. Prepare for the game.
And now, Coach, we're sort of educating a lot of people on the different programs across the country. Could you sort of help us and direct us on the program that you have there and kind of the school itself before we get into the actual season?
Yeah, that's not a problem. We're a Division II school and located about an hour south of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. We play in the Lone Star Conference, which is made up of 13 schools that play in a North and a South division. We've got about 8,000 students on campus, and we're currently 4-0 and ranked 15th in the country, and play in a competitive league. It's a lot of fun, and I think our location and our campus are two things that attract people here. But we're doing well so far.
You're doing real well so far, real well. Now, the reputation that Texas has for their programs and in the Midwest is hands down that Texas has some of the best football players coming out of their programs.
Well, I would agree with that. I coached high school football here in Texas for several years, and I think that the combination of the athlete and the emphasis placed on it by local school districts and by the school boards, they allow coaches to work the athletes the right way and give them the resources to do it. Whereas a lot of places in some other states, unfortunately, the kids just don't have access to the resources and facilities that they would find here in Texas. And I think that does a lot to help the kids develop, and it ends up providing a greater number of college-bound, quality-type athletes coming from this state.
The nice thing, too, Coach McElroy, is that the fact that the student-athletes that you have in your programs really shine for the rest of the country. The speed factor, the fundamentals they have, it just seems like overall the talent in Texas is hands above almost every other state, because I believe from the high school ranks you get cherry-picked from a lot of surrounding schools, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yeah, and that's football's king here. There's not a whole lot of competition for those great athletes, whereas in other areas of the country, basketball is really big, and some other sports. But here in Texas, the better athletes are going to focus on football, and they're going to have the use of tremendous facilities at the high school level and even at the junior high level, and a coaching staff that would be made up of guys that can commit their time to instruction and to developing those kids. And so, I think as a result of that, kids are probably a little bit farther along when they leave Texas high school programs than they are from some other places.
Absolutely. The rumor is up here in the Midwest, we're out of Detroit, Michigan, that if you want your son or daughter to play some really good sports, you got to get them down south, especially if you can get them to Texas to go through some of the camps, because they're going to get trained on speed and power versus where a lot of Midwest schools are just beefed up on just beef. They don't have the speed, as we saw Michigan losing to Oregon. We saw Michigan lose to Appalachian State, where they were built on speed. So can you speak a little bit about that? How do you guys really work on those speed factors?
Well, it's really kind of a mindset, and the total development of the athlete here is crucial, and even in high schools now, there's a lot of programs that have full-time strength and conditioning coaches that can focus primarily on the development of the athlete, and that helps a lot. And when a kid at the freshman, sophomore in high school that's getting some individual instruction on speed development and those type of things, it just puts them farther ahead of some kids that may not get that instruction until they get to college. And so I think these guys come out a little more prepared, and probably have the advantage of the resources and coaches that can develop the total package before they graduate.
Absolutely, and the season that you've had could say it's very entertaining for the student athletes. You've had one really close game where it was overtime, 27-24. The rest have been just shootouts. How do you keep your kids focused on the fact one game in one quarter at a time?
Well, our guys have played in a lot of big games around here, and they know that each week in our league anybody can beat you. Our overtime game there was to a Division I AA program, Stephen F. Austin, who played in the Southland Conference, and that was a tremendous challenge for us to go down there and beat those guys because they've got about twice the scholarships that we have. But our kids have done a good job of focusing each week and taking the games for what they are. It's a chance to go play, and you've got to focus in your practice, and we've done a good job of that, and they've executed well enough for us to find a way to win 4 times, and hopefully we can do that again Saturday.
Yeah, and we had actually had a discussion internally here as concerning the fact of the quality coming out of the Division II programs actually going after some of the 1AAs. That had to be a nice upset for that 1AA because that's not only the scholarship, but the fact is when you say Division I AA and Division II, there's a stereotype, and I think the stereotype barrier is being broken down by programs such as yours, Coach, and others across the country where the Grand Valleys, the Tarletons are really coming across and being powers in the bigger pools.
Yeah, and that you're exactly right. The perception sometimes is that the better athlete plays at Division I, and we've got good athletes here that play on our team. We just don't have as many because we don't have as many scholarships to offer. But the overall talent level is truly amazing when you look at our conference and the number of schools that we have that that have great athletes competing each Saturday, and you all know that for certain. If they're with Grand Valley, those guys do a tremendous job, and if we were blessed with more scholarships, then our numbers could increase. But I think our league does a really good job of maximizing what we have, and when you get the opportunity to play up like that against a 1AA, your kids get fired up. And they did a good job, and we're fortunate to come out there with a win.
Yeah, Coach McElroy, Max here was the one that researched this and found out that you overstepped. So I'm giving perks to Max for doing a great job and getting you on. That was a shot in the blue to see if we couldn't get you on to talk about the up. Now you're coming into a new game for this weekend. What's the reputation of Southwestern Oklahoma that you're going against?
Well, they're 3-2 right now. They got beat pretty good last week by another conference member down here, Abilene Christian, who's had a good season, and in fact they knocked off Texas State, which is another 1AA program. In fact, they were ranked 15th in the country in Division I AA, which is now I think it's the championship series, or they have some term for it, but it's the old 1AA. But nonetheless, they got after those guys, and so I think Southwest is probably reading a little bit from last Saturday, but they've always played us great games, and I would expect nothing but that on Saturday.
And, Coach, now the rest of the outlook on here, on the schedule, you've got a pretty stacked schedule on here. And with the finish off the season, you're going to have some work ahead of you. And it looks like from your reputation as far as the program and the points you've scored and the competition level, looks like you've got a really good run heading a point right now.
Well, we would hope so. As you mentioned, we've got 3 nationally ranked teams coming up. Abilene Christian, Midwestern State, and West Texas are all in the AFCA top 25 poll, and they're quality teams, and they're all in our conference. And I think that goes a long way to proving that we play in a difficult league with a lot of talented people, and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun and great competition each week, and whoever can survive this thing will certainly have a good team, and I would think would have a good chance in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Coach, we're going to let you go. We want to say thank you for taking a brief moment of your time. We're wondering if we could give you a call in a couple of weeks to keep track of your successes.
Oh, certainly. We'd love for you too, and we appreciate any time anybody checks in on our program. We certainly enjoy that, and we'll always just do what we can to help and get information out there.
Thank you. That was Coach McElroy from Tarleton. We want to say thank you to the coach for taking the time. He's got to go. And, guys, I told you we're going to get the best coaches, the best programs on from all over the country, and that's what we're doing, our main goal here. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you both. We appreciate it.